Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome to class. Today we're going to use a chair to do some hip opening poses that will eventually lead us to a supported variation of EKA PADA GALAVASANA, the flying pigeon pose. And before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, to like, share and comment so that those actions contribute to YouTube's algorithm, sharing this content with other people who are searching for inspiration for their yoga practice. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. You'll note I've got the chair toward one end of the mat, but I've also got a couple of bricks on the floor, on the mat, on the other side of the chair. Make sure you leave room for those bricks. I'm going to use a blanket underneath my knee because I'll be kneeling with one knee on the floor. The height of the chair relative to the length of your thigh bones is a good indication of how much height you might need underneath the kneeling leg. I'm going to fold my blanket in half so that I've got that much height. It can be done with the knee directly on the floor. It may depend upon how your knee feels about kneeling in this upright position. But what we want to look for is the positioning of the hips. When we step one foot up onto the chair, we don't want to have that hip lifting higher than the standing leg hip. So let's watch out for that. Kneel on the left knee. Be quite close to your chair and then step the right foot up onto the seat. And that's where you may already fall into a bit of a problem because maybe your chair is quite high relative to the length of your thigh bone. Adjust the height underneath your standing leg, underneath this left knee. Use more height, use another blanket if need be. Watch that this outer right hip is not lifting up and that you're not feeling lopsided. The outer right hip needs to roll down so that the hip sockets are relatively the same length from the floor, the same distance from the floor. You can hold on to the handle of the chair, lift the chest and press your hips forward to the chair. We are wanting to lengthen the front of the left thigh and the hip flexors, so just watch that you're not letting the hips drop back. You can keep the left toes tucked under because we will be straightening that leg shortly, but make sure you're pressing forward with the hips. Squeeze the left buttock forward, draw the navel up, lift your chest up. For some of us, we might be experiencing quite a significant stretch here in the upper left thigh. Others, we may be feeling the intensity of this right hip being so deeply flexed. Now, let the body lean forward enough that you can lift the left knee off the floor and straighten that knee. Initially, you're leaning forward over the right leg, the abdomen and the rib cage still touching the right thigh. But then, can you pivot the left heel across to the right side of the mat just enough that you can plug the heel down? Make sure your chair is stable before you take your hands off the handle. Then bring the hands to the waist, lift your chest and come into a variation of Virabhadrasana I. We're keeping that right knee bent the same degree that it was bent before. As you lift the torso, lift the front pelvic bones as well. Just watch that you're not leaving the pelvis in the anterior tilt and just arching the back to raise the torso. Can you lift the front pelvic bones up to lengthen the lumbar spine and draw the tailbone down? Interlock your fingers. Stretch the arms up. Squeeze the elbow tips in. Reach the arms up. Imagine the arms begin from the waist, lift and lengthen from the waist up through the side ribs, armpit, chest, all the way through the arms to the hands. Then take your hands back to the handle, leaning forward, and we can lift the left heel off the floor, slowly come back down, bend the left knee back down to the floor. And now we externally rotate that right leg And we bring the right foot across to the left side of the chair, so that this leg is in a simple cross-leg position. Or we could say it's in the pigeon pose position. We consider when we're doing EKA PADA GALAVASANA, it's the flying pigeon, but then we can also consider the pose EKA PADA Rajakapotasana, the one-legged king pigeon pose. We have the leg in a similar position. Now, you can point the toes or you can slightly dorsiflex the foot, it's up to you. It can depend on how your foot, your ankle feels, how your knee feels. We're upright. Just allowing ourselves to get used to this sensation of externally rotating the thigh, opening the hip in this manner. Keep the outer right hip rolling down. Then if you've got the capacity to stretch in the outer right hip, you can start to lean forward with your forearms to the handle, your forehead to your forearms. And some of you feel that you've got more capacity. If you do have a yoga chair, you'll have that backless chair. Maybe you can start to reach through, bring your head through, reach your hands down, the legs of the chair, and you've still got the left toes tucked under, straighten the back leg. As you straighten the back leg, the heel is lifted, the inner thigh rolls up to the ceiling, and perhaps you can reach to your bricks. So this is our supported variation of EKA PADA GALAVASANA, flying pigeon pose. Draw the chest forward and then feel as if you're pulling the bricks back towards the left foot to help move the breastbone forward and draw the shoulder tips back towards the hips. And then we can come back down. Lower the left knee down to the floor and bring your body back through the chair, and we can release that right leg. Right knee on the floor. We're kneeling upright on the right leg, and we step left foot up onto the seat. Try to keep your knee tracking the same line as the hip. Don't let it go out just yet. So the arms go outside the leg, not inside the leg. As you're lifting your chest, you're lifting the front body, we're observing the depth of hip flexion here. Just watch that the outer left hip isn't lifting up. You're not letting that left hip sit higher than the right. Can you roll the outer left hip down and move the hips forward towards the chair? Squeeze the right buttock forward so that you get more opening in the front right thigh. So you may feel it in the quadriceps, you may feel it in the hip flexors, you may not feel it, depends on your body and areas of tightness perhaps. But as we stay, we breathe smoothly, we soften our gaze. Now you can lean forward enough that you can lift the right knee up off the floor, straighten the right leg. So you're pressing the shin bone back. And pivot the right heel across to the left side of the mat, enough that you can press it down into the floor. That's our Virabhadrasana I position. Then as we intend to raise the torso, firstly just make sure you feel that your chair's stable, it's not going to tip. Secondly, when you lift up, don't just lift from the chest and go into the lumbar spine. Lift from the crest of the hips. The front pelvic bones lift up as you're drawing the chest up. Zip the navel up, lengthen the tailbone down, and don't diminish the flexion of the left knee. Stay in a deep flexion. Sweep the outer right hip forward. Opposite index finger interlocks on top. Stretch the arms up. Lift the arms from the waist. Imagine the arms begin at the waist, then lift up, sides of the waist, sides of the chest, all the way through the arms to the hands. Then Release the arms, take hold of the handle of the chair, lift the right heel and replace the right knee to the floor. We can take this left leg now into an external rotation, move the foot across to the right side of the chair so that you can bring your shin bone down, perhaps onto the seat. Now that will depend on your hip and the hip's mobility. But we stay for a moment, just exploring the sensations here and breathing smoothly. If you feel that you've got more stretch, you're capable of stretching more in this outer left hip, then you can lean forward. Perhaps this is it. And maybe even if there is tightness and you come forward, there's a grimacing or a clenching of the jaw or a tightening there in the facial muscles. Just notice that and see if you can relax. Relax the eyes, relax the jaw. Keep your teeth apart. We want to become aware of when tension sets in so that we can diminish the tension. And use your breath as well to diminish the tension. Sometimes as tension sets in, then we hold the breath. So be mindful of that. If you can go further, then perhaps you take your body through. And you can start by reaching the hands down the legs of the chair. Initially, it might be difficult to reach to the bricks. And of course, you can always turn your bricks up to the blade shape if it's hard to reach the flat bricks. But then see if you can straighten that right leg, press the shin bone up and start to lengthen your chest forward. Maybe you can reach down to your bricks then. Draw the chest forward. Breastbone forward. Shoulder tips back. So to help draw the shoulder tips back, feel as if you're trying to push the bricks backwards towards the right foot. Engage your abdominal muscles. Draw the navel to the back abdominal wall. And then we can slowly come back out of the pose. So we lower the right knee back down and we bring ourselves out of the chair. And we can release this left leg down. Let's rest in a variation of Adho Mukha Virasana. Big toes touching, knees apart, and we'll use the seat of the chair for the forearms and the forehead. Slow your breath down consciously. As you're ready, make your way up. If you enjoy practicing with me, I invite you to check out my video library, now called the Iyengar Practice Hub. Head to my website. The link is in the description box below. There are hundreds of videos there, and I offer a 7-day free trial. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me. For more in-depth teaching, check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. The link is in the description box below.